Good morning and welcome to the 8 a.m. update for Hurricane Laura. Hurricane Laura was officially declared a hurricane this morning by the National Hurricane Center early ahead of the 11 a.m. advisory. It was upgraded from a tropical storm this morning at 8 a.m. as of the 8 a.m. advisory. Now, some details about Laura. As you can see, convection has continued around the center of the storm, and that has made its way to that has continued to be the has continued to grow, and that has made Laura strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane. It is expected to continue strengthening today and tonight, possibly into a Category 2 hurricane, bearing any changes in the forecast. Now, right now, it's looking like Lake Charles, Beaumont area, Texas area is where it's going to be felt. The track has been shifting westward steady throughout the day, so Houston, Texas, and suburbs east and southeast of Houston should be prepared for more impacts from Laura if the track and forecast trends continue to head west, as it has been showing this morning on the computer forecast models. Now, these computer forecast models are not all 100% perfect as of now, but they will be more in alignment, showing things more in alignment later on in the forecast period. Something to note here is that most of the convection still appears to be to the east and southeast of the center of circulation, which is up here. But thunderstorms have been growing around the center of circulation, and an eye wall is supposed to be coming later on this afternoon, about 5 p.m. or maybe later on at 8 p.m. tonight. We will be having that maybe an eye feature develop with Hurricane Laura. All of the indicators are for it to strengthen to a major hurricane. However, there are some limitations to the forecast here, and I'm going to show you that here. There is some dry air present in the mid and lower levels of the atmosphere in the Gulf of Mexico. See, all this orange is dry air. All of the green is the moisture. There's Laura right here. It is moving northwest into that dry air slot in the lower and mid levels of the atmosphere. And so that may limit intensity as far as it getting to a major hurricane. It's still going to grow, but it's not going to become a major hurricane until it's like right up on the coast, and then into this trough here, which is still features right over the Houston, Texas area. And I'm gonna show you the upper level. I'm gonna show you the mid level of the atmosphere I'm talking about as well. Here's the water vapor in the mid, and you can see right here there is a dry air slot that Laura is moving into. So in the short term, in the next advisory at 11 a.m., it's still going to be intensifying, maybe 80, 85 mile an hour winds, 90 mile an hour winds. But once it hits that cooler water and the drier air up here, it's going to stop its intensity for a little while. And then the next 100 or so, or 200 miles, 300 miles towards landfall, it should be in a favorable environment. But just want to bring that up. That may limit intensity from it reaching this Category 3 hurricane, as they've been talking about on the news and media. But this is what the water vapor is showing now, and it continues to show that. Now, the upper levels of the atmosphere do look favorable because we have the high pressure in control, but that clockwise flow, anticyclonic flow over the storm, and so that upper levels are good. That's favorable for development. It's the lower and mid levels of the atmosphere that is causing the problems that could cause intensification problems for Hurricane Laura. So as we go to the Hurricane Center's advisory here, I just want to give you the latest advisory. We can see that tropical storm force winds extend out. Let's get the latest distance. Tropical storm force winds extend out 175 miles from the center of circulation. So that can impact a lot of areas, and minimum central pressure has fallen to 991. So the pressure has fallen, so now we just need the winds to catch up to it. And like I said, the Hurricane Center went ahead earlier and upgraded this to a hurricane, even though the hurricane hunters went out and they only found, about 60 knot winds, 55 knot, 60 knot winds. So they found gusts to hurricane force. So that was enough to upgrade this system to a hurricane, which is fair enough. So, but now the cone is continuing to shift westward. And right now, the storm is slowing down. It's moving west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. If you remember the early advisories, it was at 21, 20 miles an hour. So it's slowing down, and it's supposedly supposed to make this turn. Now, here's the feature that I want to talk about. Remember last time I was saying this high pressure, this Bermuda High was dominating, actually it's located closer to Florida, but it was dominating the steering currents. It still is pushing Laura west-northwest. But I think the cone is going to be shifted further west around Houston. So more of Houston will be in the area in the danger zone coming up in 11 a.m. The National Hurricane Center has hinted at shifting the cone westward, but they don't want to do it yet because they said some computer models are showing, the median consensus. They're trying to take the median consensus of the computer models. So in any event, this forecast cone is going to shift westward to include more of the Houston metro area and Galveston metro area. So if you have any friends in Houston, Galveston, Bay City, Lake City, they need to be more aware of what's going to happen because depending on the size of the hurricane winds, which we won't know until after 11 a.m., the 11 a.m. advisory, possibly not until the 2 p.m. Intermediate advisory. What I mean is the extent of the hurricane force winds, because right now it just was declared a hurricane, but we don't know the extent of the hurricane force winds, how far they extend out, how many miles they extend out yet, because this advisory does not tell us that until the Hurricane Hunters flight gets out there and the Air Force Hunters flight, we get out there later on this afternoon at 2 p.m. That's the next mission scheduled to go out there and investigate Laura. But as you can see, like I said before, most of the tropical storm force winds highlighted in yellow here, and this dark yellow color, is located to the south and east of the center of this system. So let's say if it does come in like that, then that would put most of the winds obviously to the east of Houston, most of the dangerous winds to the east of the cone. But as this cone shifts westward, more of Houston will be in this cone, the Houston metro area. And that's why it's important that you guys prepare, you guys stay tuned, because earlier we thought that the high pressure would retreat. It has not retreated. It's gotten stronger, and the ridge has gotten stronger, and that's going to be something that's going to be really impressive here. So I just want to give you this brief update at 8 a.m. 7 a.m. Central Time. I will come back and give you an update later on today. I don't think there's going to be much changes in 11 a.m. advisory, just telling you that the cone is shifted and that the winds will increase probably to 80 or 85 miles an hour, depending on how Laura's getting his act together. So that's the only two changes that I want to make you aware of, but I want to stress to you that Houston should be on alert. You should make your preparations now and this morning and this afternoon, because I think more of you guys are going to be in the cone, and you might experience hurricane force winds for a time, possibly for 4 to 8 hours or longer. That's winds greater than 74 miles an hour in the city, in the metro area. So just get prepared for that. It's going to be a quick hitter. It's going to be moving fast. That's the good news about this storm, but you need to be prepared. So be blessed, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Thank you very much.